chat room. And for now, let's continue to the next presenter, Mr. Taufiqur Rahman, Ph.D. For about 30 minutes. Pak Taufik will talk the same topic. And ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Pak Taufiqur Rahman.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moderator. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very great honor for me to be able to attend this wonderful conference. And okay, so first of all, I would like to thank to the committee, especially Irma, who invited me to this conference, and this is a very good opportunity to meet, I think, many distinguished intellectuals in Islamic studies and also in media, because here I can also meet my colleagues, Prof. Rahmahida, my senior colleagues in Perth, and all of the participants of this conference. Okay, so Prof. Rahmahida has started with a very wonderful presentation about the role of media in the development of religious authority in Indonesian media landscape. And so my turn is just highlighting some of the important things which has discussed by Prof. Mahida, and I will focus on several issues. So allow me to start with sharing my PowerPoint. Okay, so yeah, this presentation is actually also based on my research on Islamic identity online, the expression of Islamic identity in Indonesian digital media landscape. And yeah, again, okay, oh, sorry, so this is from the committee. Yeah, okay, so next, please. Okay, so yeah. Why media is important in the understanding of Islamic religious authority, whether in the global context and also in the local context. This is mainly because in our contemporary Muslim society, religious authority is achieved more by popular recognition. I think, yeah, we already know about this. That in Islam, religious authority is achieved more by popular recognition. So that's why media plays very important role in the development or in the achievement of the religious authority. It's a bit different with other religions, which rely on more hierarchical system of authority. So as the consequence of this issue, so we can see that the old traditional authority of local imam in our Islamic cleric is now being challenged by more new media literate, and also transnational interpreters of Islam, because of the availability of the direct connection with Islamic clerics and also religious learning resources from many parts of the world. Okay, and this happens mainly facilitated by the technology, by information technology, especially the internet, which allow us now to reach information from many different parts of the world, in our fingertips. Okay, and the next. Okay, I will continue to the description about media and religious authority in Islam. How we can interpret the idea of religious authority. Okay, there are several concepts that we can see that, for instance, from Gabriel, that religious authority is the right to impose rules which are deemed to be in consonance with the will of the God. So, yeah, the question is how and who have the right to impose these rules. Yeah. And another concept from Kramer and Smith, which mentioned that religious authority is basically the ability to define correct belief and practice, or orthodoxy and orthopraxy, to shape and influence the views and conducts of others, to shape and influence the views and conducts of others, to identify, marginalize, even religious authority sometimes used to marginalize or to punish other groups, to punish other, to marginalize other, or to exclude. So the issue of inclusion and exclusion is also involved, in the idea of a religious authority. Okay, the next. And this is just a brief history about the role of media in Islamic propagation. From the history of Islam, I think here we have many experts on da'wah, many experts on Islamic da'wah. So we already learned about this, that during the early years of Islamic propagation, the sources of Islamic teaching mainly come from the Prophet Muhammad and his companions. And this Islamic teaching came in the form of oral authority. So, as Prof. Rahmahida mentioned about the first wave, she mentioned about the first wave of Islamic propagation. Those are mainly came from the oral authority, and I think this is also a unique character of Islamic teaching, the use of oral authority, by reciting the Quran and also memorizing the Quran and Hadith. So those are mainly oral authority. But after the presence of printing technology and also digital technology, it reduced the dominant role of oral authority, because then we can reach many religious teaching from many Islamic books, other references which are accessible to ordinary Muslims. But then, after the arrival of the internet, especially by the characteristic of the user-friendliness and the power of multimodality of the internet, it facilitated the existence of new interpreters of Islam and the new ways of imagining the concept of ummah. So, the internet play a very important role in the existence, in the arrival of these new interpreters, whether it is they are local interpreters from Indonesia, but also many interpreters of Islam from overseas, which also have a big influence in Islamic propagation in Indonesia. Okay, and the next. Yes, I will continue with the quote from Brian Turner. So Brian Turner wrote about the idea of media and religious authority long time ago, but I think this is still relevant to our discussion today. So I will highlight the last sentence that he mentioned in this paper. That according to Brian Turner, the internet holds the diasporic community together across space and then challenge traditional authority, which is characteristically an oral and print authority. Okay, so I would say this is when Prof. Rahmaida mentioned this is a second wave. It can be the third wave. The first wave is the strong oral authority, the strong oral culture in Islamic tradition, and then the second wave is the arrival of print culture. After the publication of many Islamic books, many Islamic resources in print, but then arrive the third wave of this Islamic propagation by the arrival of the internet. Okay, the next. Okay, and for this presentation, I would like to focus on two issues actually, because of course we cannot in this very limited time. I cannot covers many issues related to media and religious authority. So I will focus on two important issues. The first one is the proliferation of the centers of authority. So I use the concept from Brynesen, Martin from Brynesen, in his paper. This is also a long time publication, but again, this is, I think, still very relevant. Until the beginning of the 20th century, the center of Islam is still in the holy city of Mecca and also Medina. These two holy cities are still regarded as the center of the development of Islam by Indonesians. So many Indonesians went to Hajj, went to Mecca to perform Hajj, but then they're not only performing Hajj, but they also learn Islam in Mecca or in Medina. And the connection of these holy cities, mainly introduced by not only Indonesians who are going to Hajj, but also the Arab traders who came to Indonesia. And also, the students, who came back from the cities and Mecca, to the so-called Islamic periphery of Indonesia. So in this case, Indonesia is the periphery, and the Arab, the Mecca and Medina is the center of Islam. But since the end of the 19th century, the central position of Mecca has been challenged by the rise of several other centers, such as Egypt, Pakistan, and then Iran. So the centers is proliferated not only in Mecca and Medina, but then there are many other centers. Okay, and the next one. Yeah, but in the current discussion about religious authority, the center-periphery model was no longer adequate to describe the development of Islam in Indonesia, especially beginning at the end of the 20th century. So Islamic religious authority in Indonesia has transformed from, according to Martin from Renaissance, Islamic religious authority in Indonesia has transformed from the traditional center-periphery model to more complex network model. So this is an interesting idea, the idea of network. So network become more important rather than the center. It depends on who are our network. So especially in the digital society, this is also very relevant because now we are living in the era of network society, according to Manuel Castells, or in the term of public, in term of public, the public in the digital society can be defined or can be conceptualized as the network public which has some kind of networking by using social media. When we interact in social media, it's actually we are doing networking. We perform networking with our friends, among the followers of certain Islamic preachers, for instance. So the idea of a network model is also relevant when we discuss the concept of religious authority in digital media or in digital society. So the use of the internet in the presentation of Islamic teaching propagation in Indonesia has clearly made the flow of influences even more complex. The rise of network society has made this idea of network society become very important. Okay, and the next one, I will show some pictures which we can use to at least to imagine how the way Islam came to Indonesia. Firstly from the Arabia, by the Arab traders. They firstly they use this Silk Road, this land Silk Road, and then they travel by the sea, and they also reach Indonesia from this is the idea of the first wave, when the center of Islam is in the two holy cities, Mecca and Medina. Okay, and the next one, again, this is an example of the idea of the center and periphery model. I found this example. These are the example of first magazines. First magazines published in Southeast Asia and also in Indonesia. Al-Imam magazine was published in Singapore. This is the first Islamic magazine published in Southeast Asia. And then Al-Munir magazine was published in Sumatra, in West Sumatra. And both are part of the first Islamic publication in Southeast Asia. And the interesting thing about these two publications that the style of this publication resembles the style of Al-Manar. The next picture, the next picture is next one. Okay, we continue to the next one. Yes, the next one. This is the picture of Al-Manar magazine, initiated by or published by Rashid Ridho in Egypt. Yeah. So this is the importance of the center in terms of media publication. Egypt played very important role at the time, in the publication of print media. Okay, next one. Okay, these are some examples of the next form of the print magazine in Islamic print magazine in Indonesia. Okay, in the left is Suara Muhammadiyah, published in 1915. This is one of the oldest Islamic magazine which still exists today. Yeah, published by Taman Pustaka Muhammadiyah, and also another one is Dewan Islam. Yeah, and the style of this magazine has changed. Yeah, they do not resemble the models of magazine, of the older magazines such as Al Imam, or Al Munir, but they use it. I think this is more because of the influence of the Dutch. Yeah, so they change and this is also the starting point of the idea of nationalism. Yeah, the influence of nationalism in media and also in Islamic publication. Okay, next. Okay, yeah, in my research, I did research on Islamic websites, and we can see from some of this picture the reference, of this media, which part of the word that they consider as the center or the network. Like this is the publication of Ar-Rahmah, but it was maybe more than 5 years ago. The face of arrahmah.com now has already changed. They tend to be more moderate right now, and they adhere because of the regulation from Dewan Pers. Okay, this is when they still publish many information about jihad from Afghanistan. And also this is an example, another content. They publish a story about Sheikh Osama bin Laden. Here we can see how they glorify the glorification of Osama bin Laden. So at that time, they still regard Osama as the reference. Okay, the next one. There is another media, Voice of Al Islam, VOA Islam, which also has quite similar style with Ar-Rahmah at the time, which refers to Islamic State outside Indonesia. They have strong reference to the development of Islamic State. Okay, the next one, the next example. Okay, this is example of the statement of Indonesian Mujahideen about their affiliation to ISIS at that time. So again, this is just an example of the operation of center and periphery model. For some of Muslim group in Indonesia, they believe that Islamic State is the center of the Islamic teaching. So this is just one of the example. Okay, the next one. Yeah. Okay, this is another examples of the reference from overseas. Yeah, the reference of Islamic authority from Islamic clerics, yeah, from outside Indonesia. Zakir Naik was very popular, yeah, several years ago. Okay, and then next one. Okay, this is another example, yeah, the network of Salafi media. Yeah. They have a very broad network as well, yeah, with their own audience. Okay, yes, and next one, yeah, this is the current phase of Ar-Rahmah. Yeah, it's tend to be more moderate right now. Yeah, so it has changed. Yeah, if you try to find Ar-Rahmah right now, yeah, it's no use the web page Ar-Rahmah ID, but they tend to be more moderate right now. So there's also a change. Yeah. Okay, next. The next one is, yes, this is the current phase of Fayway Islam, the current phase of Fayway Islam. Yeah, again, this media is also changed. Yeah, it's became more moderate because they avoid the what is the predel? Yeah, they avoid the sanction from Ministry of the Information. Yeah. Okay, and next. Okay, so the next issue is the issue of the holders. Yeah, the holders of authority. Okay, I use the concept of the holders of authority from Max Weber. Yeah. The next, please. Okay, so Max Weber introduced three different types of authority, namely traditional authority, charismatic authority, and legal rational authority. And I think this is also relevant, yeah, to the discussion about the development of the holders of religious authority in Islam. When today, the significant role of charismatic authority of religious leader was threatened by the impersonal authority of print media, but then potentially re-emerge in the competition of Islamic religious authority in various audiovisual media outlets, especially the internet. Because the internet provides the possibility of the use of multimodal media, of the multimodal communication, because they are combining written, audio, and also visual messages. So, the issue of popularity, so again, is very important in the recognition of authority in digital media. Okay, next, these are some examples of the holders of religious authority who have very different backgrounds. They have a very big popularity, because of, to me, according to BIB, this is, I think, because of the their creativity, their creativity in managing their audience, or I would say their creative engagement, So because of their creative engagement, so they receive very high popularity, mostly they have more than I think millions, they have millions followers. But they interestingly they came from very different backgrounds. Some of them have a formal Islamic education, but some of them do not have formal Islamic education. So okay, the next one. Okay, these are some newest phenomena, that we can see in Instagram. There are other holders of religious authority, who are very popular, in the new media, in social media, and I think again this is because of the way they manage, or the way they package their message to their audience. So they got a very high followers. For instance, Hanan Attaqi, Hanan Attaqi, the founder of Hijrah movement, the founder of Hijrah movement, is very influential in many young generation right now, because of his engagement, his creative engagement to the audience. But the interesting thing is that Hanan Attaqi is actually hold a quite what is it? A quite good Islamic background, because he graduated from Al-Azhar, Cairo, and so I think he got a very good basic study of Islam, and also the other one, Ustad Abdus Somad, is also very famous, in his YouTube, and also even in Instagram, he also got very high follower, more than 5,000 followers. Okay, next one. Next example is like Sheikh Ali Jabir. He also got a very high follower, but he has a bit different style. He still use more kind of traditional, this Arabic style, in his preaching, but he still got many followers. And another one is Adi Hidayat. He is also quite famous. And he also holds an education from Libya. Okay. The next one. This is another interesting example of Kristiana Dewi. Kristiana Dewi. She was firstly famous as an actress, but then moved as Islamic da'i, Islamic preacher. But we can see in this Instagram account, she has made several Instagram accounts, and it has two different faces, in her Instagram account, in her Instagram account as an actress, he got more than 16 million followers, because in his account, in this account, he show more about her personal life, so in more common, okay. And then with this the official dakwah account, yeah. But for her official dakwah account, he received less follower in her official dakwah account. So I think this is because he popularly known as more as actress, yeah, rather than as an Islamic preacher. Okay, and then I'll move on to the conclusion, I think, yeah, because our time is run out, yeah. So from this presentation, I would say that the transmission of Islamic teaching, which initially relied on the oral and personal authority of Muslim scholars who have direct contact with the Prophet Muhammad and his companions, has been challenged by the impersonal authority of print media and has also been increasingly disjointed from the traditional and rational legal authorities by the global use of the internet by Muslim communities all over the world. And the use of the internet in the representation of Islam and Islamic teaching propagation in Indonesia has strengthened the shift from the center periphery model of authority to the more complex network model. And many independent interpreters of Islam have started to emerge. And especially because of their creative encounters, creative engagement of these new interpreters, they have contributed to the change of the way Islamic religious authority operates in Indonesia. Okay, I think that's all my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for the interesting and inspiring talk.